Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dmatiqitchen. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, or playing too much Baldur's Gate 3, or being bored out of your mind in Starfield, it's fall, y'all! Yes, that's right, everyone's favorite time of the year, unless you like any of the others. And you know what that means: pumpkin spice, colder nights, and of course, unrepressed spookiness. But beyond all that, fall, or autumn if you're not into that whole brevity thing, means we're getting to some colder weather. And what better way to heat things up than by making some hot sauce? What's that? Wearing a sweater. Now, before we get started, I'm gonna have to come clean. You see, I'm not gonna be making this from scratch. I'm going to be using a Craft and Brew Make Your Own Hot Sauce Kit from Bespoke Post. Please sponsor me. Now, thankfully, this kit comes with everything you're going to need to make your own hot sauce at home. Specifically, I have 2 packets of seasonings, pre-mixed and weighed out already. We've got a hot and smoky sauce and a mild citrus sauce to make. Along with those 2 packets comes a helpful funnel and 4 bottles with which to put in your spicy mix, and some caps. But like most things, they don't include everything in the box. So I had to provide a little bit of my own 100% distilled white vinegar. And why can't I hold all these limes? To start with, we're gonna need to heat up this cool saucepan. I don't know, to some sort of heat. Let's go ahead and turn it to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As our saucepan heats up, let's start our hot and smoky mix. After tearing a corner, I'll carefully and precisely dump it right on in there. No muss, no fuss. Now I'll gently agitate the mixture, toasting the ingredients for a couple of minutes. For the next step, we're going to need 1 1/3 cup of vinegar. Look at that. The perfect pour. We'll add the vinegar into our mix. I'll continue to mix as the whole thing is brought to a boil. Boy, oh boy, this work sure is caliente. While our first mix is boiling, I decided to work smarter and not harder. If you ask anybody, that's my ethos, and if they say otherwise, you better let me know. So I've already gone ahead and moved our aromatic, mild citrus mixture into our second saucepan. As our first mixture reaches its end, let's start prepping a little bit for the next step. I'll go ahead and move my lines out of the way and introduce you to a friend of mine. He's a little bit shy. He's a little bit sneaky. He's a little bit sly. And he makes sure that the boards aren't creaky. It's the ninja. All right, with our mix properly boiled for several minutes, we are going to transfer the contents of this saucepan into our blender. Now, folks, this is a scientific process of clenching and hoping nothing goes wrong. Now, I dare say there are still some more solids in there, so I'm going to deglaze the interior with some additional vinegar. I'm sure this won't necessarily hurt anything or come back to bite me later, unlike the flavor of this sauce. There we go. And I'll see if I can bat a little cleanup with the rest of it here. There we go. Now, the Ninja is one of my favorite new additions to the Dmatiqitchen arsenal. This thing, it's very sharp. I sliced myself pretty good just getting it out of its box. All right, now according to the directions or destructions, what I need to do is place this lid on top like so, bring it down and lock it into place. The provided instructions were not terribly specific upon what settings to use, only that the entire process should be done for about 3 minutes. So, I believe I will do 1 minute at each of the power settings. Thankfully, with the high-powered top, I don't think this is going to explode, but I will still maintain a distance because I don't want anything to happen. Power is on. This is a live drill. Okay, that got pretty intense. I think we're going to call it there, and we'll start the transfer process. Now that the blending process is done, we're going to take our precariously prepared precious pepper product and pour it into some previously prepared pepper receptacles. All right, here goes sauce. Okay, just a little bit of a slowdown there. No problemo. Okay, maybe oh, look at that. Like a glove. All right. And now for the second pour. Dios mío. Well, in the pouring process, I accidentally overloaded a little bit. And resultingly, there was a bit of a splash. So I had to sample a bit.
Wow.
Oh my. It's spicy, but quite flavorful. But I will wait 24 hours for the full taste test. So we'll take my now even spicy boys and pop them in the fridge to let the flavors settle. Before we get started on our lime brethren, we're going to need to do a little bit of post-pepper cleanup in the blender and the funnel, just to make sure that the flavors are distinct and there's no crazy cross-contamination. Now that we've properly purified our pepper pummeling production machine, it's time for us to turn our attention to our mild citrus blend, of which I've already dispensed into this particular saucepan. But it does require a little bit of extra prep. As I heat up our mix to toast it, I will begin slicing up our delicious limes. Now, folks always ask me, how do you know when you've got the perfect lime? And I tell them this, I have no idea. So I'm going to take my trusty knife that I really need to sharpen. I do have a sharpening kit, also from Bespoke Post. Hey, sponsor me! I'm going to go ahead, give it a slice. Ooh, look at that. It's all citrusy and such. And then we'll give a second one a slice. And look at that, all ready for us to squeeze. We'll go ahead and continue to mix these around, ensuring that our ingredients get properly toasted. I can already see what I might end up doing in the future, depending on how these all turn out, with picking up possibly even some fresher peppers and drying them out myself. Yep. And since I've got the materials, this could be a fun pastime, and I can give gifts and say, hey, I'm the one who gave you diarrhea this time. It's the gift that keeps on giving, am I right? Well, evidently, I may have toasted these a little bit too long. Yeah, they got a bit darker. That's fine. That's cool. We're just going to set that to the side. Now, we're going to go ahead and mix together our vinegar as well as our limes. Now, vinegar-wise, according to Mr. Instructions here, it looks like we are looking at a cup of apple cider vinegar, also known as, I ain't got that. We're going to use white distilled vinegar, because that's what I do have. So we're going to go with 1 cup. Like a glove. And I don't actually have a lime juicer. Could not find one when I was at the store. So, oh sweet Jesus. This is far more difficult than I anticipated. I thought, oh, easy. All you have to do is squeeze, right? Right? That's all part of the process, you know? It's that DIY process. You don't know until you try, right? Dry run? What's that? They say you learn by doing, or in this case, screwing up. Alright. Quarter lime done. There we go. Yeah, note to self, limes are tougher. Oh, goodness. Than I thought. Okay, now that we've got some thoroughly juiced limes poured into our mix, let's go ahead and mix the whole ding-dong thing together. Again, this is going to mix and boil for about 5 minutes. So it should heat up in just a little bit here before we transfer it to our friend the Ninja. With our caliente concoction properly boiled, oh sweet lord, we're gonna go ahead and pour it into our Ninja. Evidently, it looks like I'm gonna have to do the same thing by deglazing with a little bit of the vinegar. The mixture is a little bit darker than I expected, probably due to the fact that I did burn part of the ingredients during the quote-unquote toasting process. Hopefully that doesn't change the flavor profile too much, because there is a not insignificant amount of lime juice in there. Ooh. I just realized I didn't put the blade in there. Okay, and here we put the lid on, lock it in, and say our prayers. Okay, well, now it is time for our pour. Hopefully, this is successful. Alright, we'll angle it right there. And, ooh, this one is far more liquidy. Intriguing. Oh, there's one. A little drip, little drip. And here comes number 2. Oh, a little bit of a vacuum there. There we go. Whew. Okay. Hey, not bad, not bad. Overall volume is more positive with this one. And you know what? I won't even worry about evening them out. So I'll take my 2 tasty lids and put them on these spicy kids. So all there is left to do now with these is to pop them into the fridge, let them set for 24 hours. And we'll get to that final taste test. Intriguingly, and probably due to the burnage, the citrus one actually turned out more brown, whereas the other one, the hot and smoky, is a little bit more on the red side. So hopefully I won't get them mixed up tomorrow. See you then. Okay, it has been Not quite 24 hours, but it is indeed the next day. It's time to check out our sauces. The first one here is our hot and smoky sauce. It definitely has a thicker consistency than the other sauce and a distinctly red color. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid and give it a whiff. Okay. Ooh. I get a little bit of some sweeter notes. Definitely a lot of that vinegar backing, but distinctly peppery notes as well as there should be. Now for our citrus blend. It is a lot darker than probably intended, especially since I ended up using the distilled vinegar versus the apple cider vinegar. So it is not really amber in color. Now this one, there is a distinctly charred scent to it, which I guess you could say is not exactly ideal, especially when you're looking for more of an effervescent and fruity flavor. But I've got a plate full of non-branded chips. Yeah, just little round circles. No particular brand here. And we're gonna go ahead and apply some of these sauces. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll try the citrus flavor first. So I've got my chip. All right, here goes the citrus. Ooh, definitely getting a lot of that citrus flavor there. I bet you with the apple cider vinegar, it might bring it out a little bit more. I'm also definitely picking up a little bit of the charred taste. However, overall, it does have more of a citrus flavoring. It's not bad, honestly. I think I might use it for some chicken. Heat-wise, it's not too terrible either. So more or less, it's a very nice citrusy spiced sauce. Not bad. And we'll try another one with our hot and smoky. As for our hot and smoky, this one definitely poured a little bit better and is a bit more visually appealing. Let's see if the flavor is the same. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna say the hot and smoky definitely takes the cake for me. I definitely get those vinegar notes. It is tangy for sure, not necessarily as like citrus acidic. It has some heat to it. It is no slouch by any means, but not overwhelmingly hot. It's got more of a full-bodied flavor. I'm tasting a lot more of the seasoning that went into it versus just sort of tasting the lime. Yeah, it's a more well-rounded flavor, and honestly, I think I could take some of that and, mix in some brown sugar and potentially make it into some sort of barbecue sauce almost. It has a very barbecue-y flavor, and honestly, I could see myself using that on a lot of things. So, as I said before, these sauces will keep for about 6 months. So, I think I might share some of these with my family in the next couple of months here. But this has gotten me on a bit of a sauce kick. Now, I've always been one to mix my own sauces using the pre-made stuff in different stores, mixing mayo and ketchup, and then apparently that became a revelation to a whole bunch of people, so they started selling it pre-mixed, what have you. But I do have some ideas going forward, potentially for this holiday season. I'm imagining something sort of like an orange clove glaze almost for pork or poultry. I think that could be pretty good. I'm also thinking about more of like a gingerbread barbecue sauce of sorts, bringing in some of the seasonings from gingerbread, but doing it in a sauce for savory consumption, not necessarily for sweet consumption. I've got a lot of ideas percolating in this head. And if I try them out and they're pretty good, I might detail the whole process in another episode. But until then, be sure to give me some feedback, let me know what you'd like to see. And of course, a subscription would be phenomenal. I'll see you in the next one.